What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And it is TAC season. The Michigan Total Archery Challenge is less than 2 weeks away. Keep in mind, I will be there from Friday through Sunday. So if you follow the channel, you support us, please come up. Say hello if you see me out there. I will have a small amount of giveaways available. They're going to be at a first come, first served basis. I got roughly 10 of them. And this is just a way for me to say thank you for all your continued support over the years. I know I say it time and time again in these videos, but without you guys, without your support, we really would not be doing what we're doing. So again, this is just a way for me to say thank you for all your continued support. Now in this video, I just want to go over my 2023 Total Archery Challenge gear list. I know I made a video 2 years ago, but being that this is my third TAC event, I've kind of dialed in this system a little bit. I have made some significant changes, which I'll talk about in this video, but we're just going to kind of dive into this. Some of it is the same, some of it is very different. But the first thing that I'm going to talk about is just my bow setup. This is probably the most drastic change that I've made going into the 2023 TAC event. So I did end up picking up a Phase 4 Matthews. This year I went with a 29-inch bow. My sight setup has changed. I was historically running just my hunting setup with my hunting arrows, but having a heavier arrow setup definitely limited the amount of distance that I was able to get. So this year I did build out a sight for shooting 3D and shooting Total Archery Challenge, and I also built out a brand new arrow configuration. I did a complete arrow build on this. You guys can check it out, but this arrow is extremely lightweight. It's coming in at like 400 grains. I'm getting 290 feet per second. And then the sight that I'm running is the HHA Rise with the UV scope housing, the smaller one. And with this setup, I'm able to get out to 120 yards on my sight tape. Now, everyone always asks, so I'll address it in the video. My bow does have 70-pound limbs, and I am shooting a 27-inch draw, like I said, on the shorter side, but I'm super happy with the performance of this bow. I'm super happy with the distance that I'm able to get with this sight setup, so I'm excited to run this here in 2023. Now, the next big change that I'm doing, and this may bite me a little bit later, but I will be running a hinge this year at TAC, whereas historically in the past I've always ran my thumb button. I've been really having a lot of fun shooting the hinge. It's been a difficult transition from a thumb button to a hinge. I've transitioned through a couple different hinges over the last 2 years. But I finally settled on one. I ended up picking up a Trueball HBC. What I really like about this hinge is the fact that it does have a shorter neck on it, so I'm able to transition between the hinge and my Carter Wise choice without having a lot of change or variation in my anchor point, and it's helped me maintain consistency. Now, part of the trouble with the hinge is that it's just a complicated release to shoot, so I am going to bring both of these because I have found when I start to shoot some of those longer distances, and I have a floating anchor, it's a little harder to pull through the shot. So at that point, I probably, like I said, I will transition between these two releases depending on how I'm shooting. Now, kind of moving over to the more critical items that I feel like are really required for a TAC event. Obviously, you need a bow, you need your release, but you also need a really good set of boots. Now, for me, I picked up a pair of Crispies 2 years ago. These are probably by far the best boots that I've ever owned, but you don't have to go crazy expensive on boots. You just want to make sure that you're getting something that is giving you proper ankle support because you are out there hiking for a long period of time, and you're also hiking some pretty aggressive terrain. I would also recommend getting good socks. I recommend merino wool with a synthetic liner. That's going to just help kind of reduce that sweat, pull that sweat away from your feet, and then just ultimately help reduce your blisters. Now, kind of touching on boots and foot care, I would also recommend that you bring some type of first aid with you. You don't have to go crazy on this. I just packed this small little thing here. It's got a couple band-aids in it. It's got some alcohol wipes in there in case you get cut. But one of the big things is just get some like athletic tape. This is some hockey tape. I just carry this just in case someone happens to sprain an ankle out there. Obviously, they have the TAC crew that is there to help in the event of any serious injury. But if you sprain an ankle, you can at least tape it up, get yourself off the mountain. It'll help prevent any further injury to that sprain. So like I said, it doesn't add any weight, doesn't add any bulk to your setup. Just throw it in your backpack and you got it just in case of emergencies. Now, as far as like backpacks go, In the video that I posted 2 years ago, I was running my Quiver Striker XL. Now I know that that backpack was overkill, but I wanted to run that backpack for 2 reasons. A, it was new to me, and B, I wanted to get comfortable shooting with a pack style frame. Since then, I have transitioned to a smaller backpack. This is the Quiver Shape Charge. Still a little bit of overkill for a TAC event, but I really like this backpack. It rides really, really well. It's comfortable to carry. So that's what I'm going to continue to run in 2023. Now, in addition to that, the next item that I would say is a necessity is obviously you need some type of a rangefinder so you can range those targets. I'd also recommend a pair of good binos. Last year I ran some 8x42s. This year I'm going to run the 10x42s just because I feel like they give more magnification. You're able to see if you have any overhanging limbs or anything kind of blocking your target that's going to affect your shot. So like I said, carrying binos is a good thing to have. Not a necessity, but recommended. And then I would also recommend some type of bino harness. Last year I ran the marsupial, but this year I'm going to be running the new Quiver bino harness. I'm waiting for it to come in. It'll be in next week. I will be doing a full detailed review on that. So if you guys want to check that out, you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and tune in for that product review video. And then kind of moving on from there, you know, not a necessity, but I always carry 2 different tripods with me. I carry a larger tripod because we do a little bit of filming out there, and then also I carry a smaller one that extends out as a selfie stick. I'm a big fan of capturing the moment with friends, capturing those memories, looking back on those memories. So like I said, not a necessity, but it's something that I do recommend that you carry along with you. Now, in addition to that, I would also say that you want to probably get some arrow lube. Some of the targets that they use at TAC are fresh. Sometimes pulling multiple arrows throughout the day gets difficult. Arrow lube goes a long way, making it a lot easier to get those arrows out of the target. And then sunblock and sunscreen. Keep in mind, it's June, it's summertime. So the bugs are going to be bad. It is tick season. The sun's going to be out, so you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. Now, as far as bug spray goes, I don't use bug spray because I do pre-treat the pants that I wear. I spray it down with Sawyer permethrin that prevents ticks and also is a mosquito repellent, so it's kind of dual purpose. But if you're wearing shorts out there, like I said, it is tick season. You are walking through the woods, you are walking through tall grass, so take the necessary precautions to keep yourself safe. Don't get Lyme disease out there because TAC is not responsible for that. I would also recommend that you get some Allen wrench or bring some tools in case you need to make any fine-tune adjustments to your bow. So bring a small Allen wrench, throw it in your backpack, you're good to go. As far as releases, I didn't touch on this earlier, but if you shoot a handheld, bring an extra release with you. The last thing that you want to do is lose a release and have that be the end of your Total Archery Challenge event. So bring a spare, always a good thing to do. I would also recommend bringing a spare battery for your rangefinder. Again, you don't want something so small to prevent you from having a good time at the TAC event. Now, as far as how many arrows should you bring, people always ask this question. I recommend bringing 2 dozen. I don't carry 2 dozen arrows with me every time I shoot event at TAC, but I have enough left over at the hotel to where if I have a bad day and I've lost some arrows, I'm not too concerned about it or too concerned with it ruining my TAC event. Obviously, if you only bring like a dozen arrows with you, you have a bad day, hopefully you don't, but you blow through half of them, then you start to get a little concerned and you start to have, in my opinion, not as good of a time as you could if you're not concerned about losing arrows. So bring 2 dozen. You'll be okay. You'll probably make it out of there with the majority of them, but I'd rather have more than less. And then the last thing that I would say is like, come up with some type of way to carry your arrows. I know a lot of people just drop them into their backpack. For me personally, I don't like doing that because I don't like the field points poking into the bottom of my backpack, potentially ripping it. So I just came up with this cheap arrow quiver. All this is golf tubes for a golf bag. You slide golf clubs in here. All I did was take them, I cut them down to size, I taped them together, put tape on the bottom. The tape kind of helps hold the arrow in place, and you can kind of see that it only leaves a little bit hanging out. So that makes it a little bit easier when you're getting under some or getting through some low-hanging brush. I just take this, I stuff it in one of the water bottle holders on my backpack, and it just stays strapped in the entire time. I'm able to carry anywhere from like 10 to 15 arrows in these 4 tubes. And like I said, it does a good job. You don't have to get crazy expensive on a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of DIY videos that you guys can check out for arrow holders. Like I said, this was just what I had come up with. Lightweight, doesn't add a lot of bulk, allows me to carry enough arrows to get through 2 different courses throughout the day, and then I can just refill it later if needed, hopefully not. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope to see you guys at the Total Archery Challenge event. Like I said, if you subscribe to the channel, you see me out there, please come up, say hello, give me an opportunity to say thank you for supporting the channel and all your continued support over the years. If you guys didn't make it into TAC this year, I know it sucks, but they are continuing to try to improve the registration process. They've done a great job at that, and just keep trying, because it is an event that I highly recommend that you check out, especially if you've never had the opportunity to be at one. And then keep in mind, there is also the R100. There's one in Ohio that is actually at the end of the month in June. I will be attending that one. And then there's also another one in Michigan that you guys can check out too. That event does not sell out nearly as fast as a Total Archery Challenge event. So if you didn't make it into TAC, I still recommend that you try to make it into an R100 event, because it is a pretty awesome event as well. And like always, I appreciate your guys' support. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because that really keeps us doing what we're doing. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you on the next one.